guys ready?
We're ready.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Creative Zero Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Watson. We're recording here at Owl Radio, and I'm joined here with the band Intention. Give a round of applause, guys. Got a little delayed. We do this every time. God. We got Zach, and we got Anthony. Wait, Tristan. No, we got Tristan. I low-key forgot the names right off the bat.
No, it's okay.
I'm Sam.
Zach, yours is really easy.
I'm Sam.
You're Sam.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I know that's not true. I had that locked in because Sam's your brother and he's not here and he lives in Monroe.
Yes.
With you.
Yes.
Hey Sam, if you're listening, hey.
Hey Sam.
I wish it was you and not Zach. No, I'm kidding. And we have Tristan on bass.
Yep.
Okay. But first, to get right into it, why don't you guys tell us about Intention? You guys, how it started as a band. You started this with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You and your brother are in the same band. So tell us how you guys' paths crossed and how it really began.
So basically, back in high school, me and my older brother, we would do music a lot, and his name's Chris. We would do music a lot. You know, he inspired me to play the guitar, taught me a lot about blues, believe it or not. Was a big blues player. And through Summit Academy, which Tristan used to go there. Did you graduate there?
No, I didn't, but I did go there for a couple of years in high school.
Yeah, so, but went there a lot. It was like this co-op group because we were all homeschooled. So
I was homeschooled.
No, really?
I went to a co-op. Dude, this is awesome.
What was yours co-op?
Homeschoolers are
My
so cool.
co-op was Timothy Ministry. It was a Christian one, and it was in First Baptist Woodstock, which is this massive church where I live.
Dang.
Yeah.
Ours was Summit Academy.
Summit Academy.
Yeah, it was kind of like...
Was it religious?
Yes.
Okay.
Very.
It was
very.
also at a church.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the church, though.
And you
Well,
you both went?
Called something,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's
Y'all
where we
are
met.
awesome, dude. This is awesome.
That's where we met. We weren't like really friends. We were like knew of each other.
Yeah.
Because you knew Chris.
I was friends with Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyways, little sidetrack in there. So we go to Summit Academy and met some good friends. That's where I met Anthony from. And my older brother went there as well. And then we met a friend named Nick, who I don't know what Nick is doing now, but I wish him the best with what he's doing. But he played the drums. And so we kind of like got together. It was me on guitar and vocals, my older brother on guitar, Anthony on bass, and my friend Nick on drums. We'd get together, jam, kind of started off as like a Tool cover band a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where we got the name from, Intention, because it's a song off of 10,000 Days. And then from there, we kind of just started writing a little bit of original work and then got together like a set list with multiple covers, like Smashing Pumpkins. That was kind of like my choice. Some Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd, which was like Anthony and Chris's influence. And then a little bit of Foo Fighters in there and a Tool song. And then kind of did that for a little bit. And then band kind of went at separate ways for a little bit there. This was probably around close to my senior year in high school.
Which would be what, 20, I'm going to guess 2021, 2022?
2020, 2021.
Oh, wow.
So I graduated in 21, and this probably happened around 2020, somewhere around there. And then me and Anthony continue to do music together. My older brother, he still played music all the time, but he kind of found his job that he was doing. And then me and Anthony started recording what wasn't called this at the time, but started recording Why, From Here On, Strawberry Wind, and Life in Reverse and Ray of Love was not made yet, but for Crossing the Field Where the Memory Bleeds, which is our EP that we first released back in 2022, I think is when it was. Yeah, August.
23, right?
I think it was 23.
It was 23. That's right.
At least that's what it
was 23. Yeah. And then, so we started recording that, and then we got a little decent kind of movement on it. And then my older brother, Chris, unfortunately passed away. So then that's when we kind of like just came back together really strong and was like, okay, well now we need to get this EP done because he played a lot on the songs and had a lot of influence writing them. And so we got the tracks done, we released it in his honor, and then met Brad, who was the bassist before Tristan, gigged once or twice, and then Brad left the band, and then here comes Tristan.
Here comes Tristan.
Yeah, and it's been the perfect puzzle piece since. So
Yeah.
it's been so cool having him on and like just rekindle after like not knowing each other for so long, you know?
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Oh, that feels like it. First off, just the fact that you guys met in an environment such as a co-op, like I'm sure the environment of your co-op was very similar to my co-op.
Mhm.
Like it's not one of those things where you have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's like that's something you do after you get home and like you're like homeschooled doing all your homework and stuff like that. Like
Right.
that's what you're doing. I mean, so that's really crazy to have that connection there because there's probably not a lot of people at your school as well. I mean, this is somebody you grew up with as well.
Yeah, I think my graduating group in 21 was like 10 people, I think is how many people it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I forgot to mention during the writing of Crossing the Field, Sam started learning how to play the drums. So that's where Sam came into the effect and started to, you know, because he wanted to also be part of the band to carry on my brother's legacy. So he started getting back in the drums, and then he came along and then started drumming for the band.
Yeah. And I want to get more into you guys about your music later on because I want to save that maybe towards the end because I think that's a really special part about you guys. But let's go kind of more into your like identity, right? You already identified that the name Intention came from a Tool song. Like what does Intention kind of like mean to you guys now?
So it's actually funny you say that because with us being a cover, like a Tool cover band, you know, it was like a Tool.
So like at first, that's what the intent was.
Yeah.
That was the intention.
And I literally always tell people that our name band is literally just, we're called Intention. And because we have the intent to do something great with music. That's
so
literally
I did get it. Okay.
Yeah. That's literally it. It, you know, it was just a Tool song, and then we had to turn it into somewhat of our own thing.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to change the name. And
You know, I kept throwing around the name in my head, and I was like, Intention. That sounds like a word.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why it took me so long to realize like that's what it, like the word intention. I don't know. I just didn't put it together. It just sounds original.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you not think so you didn't know that it was a word before?
Well, before the recording, yes. Like I didn't just learn that on the spot, but I didn't really put it together until I really thought about it while I was researching you guys. I was like, oh, why?
The S really threw you off.
Yeah, I don't know. It just like I feel like you could spell. Have you ever thought about like spelling it weird or anything like that?
No, because the way Tool spelt it was with an S, so we just kind of just went for it like that. So, dude, I'm sorry, bro.
I was like completely like this is a new word. You know, I feel really dumb doing it, but I was like, you know what? It sounds.
That's really funny.
Half the time it's like crazy stuff that I've never heard of, and then it's like, oh, this is actually just a word in the English language.
Oh shit, that's a word. No way.
No way. But you guys also kind of alternative rock. I would say that's kind of like your genre. Would you guys agree to that?
We definitely say so. It's kind of like we make a lot of genres of music, but alternative rock is the easiest thing to probably.
And you
classify.
started
Hodgepodge
as
of things.
Yeah.
right, and you started as covers, right? That's kind of where you mainly got your start. Maybe that's where you kind of just started the group. What point did you guys start to merge into doing your own stuff and really kind of creating your identity around the music you're playing and around what inspired you guys as musicians for the band?
So I know me and Anthony started writing original music when we were about 15 or 16. And, just trying to figure out our sound. And that's where From Here On and Why was written. And then we kind of just got older, started listening to a bunch of new music.
Yeah.
And then just started kind of combining different things. That was probably about 2 years ago. We've always been continuously writing, but our sound really came together as a whole when Tristan was in the band. And I'll let him take over here as kind of like, the influence that you gave and everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I came from a cover band too, actually, before I joined them. I was in a band called M21. And so we did a lot of like early 2000s, more like hard rock kind of covers. So like, Bullet for My Valentine, Linkin Park,
Right.
stuff like that. So, I always grew up listening to hard rock and heavy metal and stuff like that. It's just, what I enjoy. Like a lot of the Southern rock influences of like Creed and Alter Bridge and things like that. So I definitely, whenever I listened to the music that they had already written, it kind of was in the same vein as stuff that I had already listened to. So, after joining the band, I definitely I don't want to say like I pushed it, but I definitely wanted to like play heavier kind of music, just because
Right.
there's like that energy and everything on stage. I definitely feel like, especially if you listen to our, most recent record, you can definitely hear some of the heavier influences and stuff.
Yes,
on there.
absolutely.
Like Crossing the Field and then Self-Titled is totally different sound.
Well, when I was telling, I'll name drop. What I was telling Sally, who's a big fan of you guys, is when I was listening to it, because I spent like basically kind of like an hour and a half just like listening to it. I got here super early, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like listen to like every song that they've put out. And the one thing I really noticed is I was like, when you're kind of getting like sometimes music when it's like it can be too heavy when you're listening to it, at least in my opinion, through like headphones or something like that, like on Spotify, it's not as easy to digest, right? Whereas with you guys, I felt such a different vibe. I could see where seeing it live would just be so much more like intense and kind of grabbing, I guess. Whereas then you could also still just listen to it online and it just sounded great. It's just sounded like you still jammed to it.
Oh, wow.
And I loved it. I was like, okay, this is actually fantastic. And I say that about I have to say that about every band. Like, oh, I love your music. And no hate to anybody who's been on the podcast. I did love your music, but I did really, really like this. I really, really did.
Appreciate that.
And I definitely see the undertones, like you guys were kind of saying. Like, there's definitely Foo Fighters. There's definitely Smashing Pumpkins. And I guess where I'm going with that is, where do you guys like the trajectory that you guys are going? Are you guys thinking of experimenting and going into different kind of realms, I guess, of music, different ideas, incorporating different instruments and stuff like that?
Most definitely. For me, I don't really classify songwriting or like being in a band as like, oh, you're stuck in that genre.
Right.
Like I create for myself. I create because I want to hear what I'm creating, like I'm doing it for myself. Excuse me. And definitely going forward, I listen to so much music, and so does Tristan, so there's going to be days where I'm like on like a massive Foo Fighter kick or,
Right.
Smashing Pumpkins. I'm like, oh, I want to write that style. Next day, I'm listening to Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I would love to make a song like that, so like
Yeah.
there's no telling what the future could hold. I know our newer stuff that we have that we're working on is definitely diving deeper into a shoegazy kind of vibe.
It's a
we've
little
been listening
experimental.
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And but yeah, we just kind of create what we're listening to at that time, and then just kind of take it from there and see what happens.
But it doesn't sound all over the place, right? It still sounds like you guys. I don't know if it's just your voice is very like distinct. So like I think you could change the background a lot and you would still identify it as like, this is still Intention, right?
Oh, heck
This
yeah.
isn't like, oh, I'm just going off of the deep end, right? Now, one thing I want to talk about you personally. So you and guitar, so you do guitar, and I don't know if you guys, are you lead guitarist or are you more rhythm on the back, or do you guys switch in and out?
We switch in and out. Like I said, we take turns writing songs. Like Anthony will write a song, bring it to a table. And, that's probably something he's written, and I'll write a song and bring it to the table, and same with everybody else. But when the guitars come into play, we kind of write a song, both bring it to the table, we shop work it together. Anthony is a way better guitarist than I am in a million. That dude can shred. Holy smokes. But we definitely just get up there and just share the roles together for sure. Like there's moments where I have some lead, especially in some of the newer stuff. And there's moments where Anthony's have lead, and same with the vocals as well, just swapping off.
Yeah.
We both are lead vocals and lead guitar.
So I like to ask this question. I don't ask it a lot, but I like to answer because I grew up playing guitar a good bit. So, and I like to get into a lot of guitarists and stuff like that. So like for each of you guys, who's kind of like that musician you guys kind of look to for inspiration and stuff like that for your respective instrument, I guess. Like, what would you say?
Start this one, brother.
I was asked this question at a show the other day, and it's kind of bad because like I don't really take inspiration from any bass players. Because I am a guitarist at heart. I've been playing guitar for many years, and I only been playing bass for like 2 years. So I just kind of tried to take my guitar skills and try to move it over to bass,
right,
so to speak. So, but my guitar influences is Mark Tremonti, Alter Bridge, and Creed, and then Zakk Wylde. So Black Label Society, Ozzy Osbourne. That's probably like my two biggest influences So
Yeah. What about you, Zach? What are you?
So for me, my inspirations mainly come from like Adam Jones from Tool, Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction, Billy Corgan, Smashing Pumpkins, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age, big influence to me. And even some of like, Jimmy Page's work too, like the way he can work around the neck and just his whole creativeness as a whole. I pull a lot of inspiration from that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some guitarists I think that just like kind of are have the ability to create their own sound, like they're playing their own instrument. Not to say like, but I feel like, sometimes guitar is something that you can experiment with, but we're kind of at that point where a lot of people have done. There's a lot of songs with guitar in it. I mean, like, come on. So always finding like a new way to like make it sound unique and different. Like there's some guitarists where you're like, that's who that is. I think that's fascinating to identify just from an instrument like that. That can be replicated. It's crazy that you can kind of identify that. If we're any musician.
Yeah, it's crazy to just be able to watch somebody, or like, it's the same thing as listening to someone sing. Like you can listen to a singer and then you have those amazing guitarists like, like Dave Navarro, Jerry Cantrell, for example. You can just listen to them and just be like, oh, I know exactly who that is. Straight from the rip when they play the first note.
Right.
And that's always such a unique thing. Like, we're born with a certain voice, right? And you can train it to sing how it is, but everyone has their own unique voice. But when it comes down to guitar playing, in order to take it and just make it your own and original, it's an incredible hard thing to do. And it's really like so amazing to see people taking that instrument and craft so serious and be able to turn it into something that is basically like their voice is so important. I've pulled a lot of inspiration from that because I've never been good with my words. So I always, before I was singing, I would only play, guitar or piano. And I would always try to just sit down with my guitar and let it speak for me. So like I would write like this instrumental, and instead of, reading something that made me feel better, I'd be able to listen to that and be like, oh, that's how I felt. Those were the words I wish I could have said, but it's just in music form. And it's really cool thing to be able to, I don't know, when you're not speaking good with your words, to be able to put it out in music.
Right. Maybe go off the notes that you're thinking, and maybe establishing lyrics that second. Right. Now let's talk about your album that you recently released. It's called Intention, the name of the album. You guys released this October 3rd, I believe, right? So tell us about it. Tell us about what you guys did differently. I like the album cover, to be honest. I really like that. Tell us about your inspiration for all of it.
Yeah, so the album cover, shout out to AOS Graphics. She does a lot of stuff for a lot of Atlanta people as far as graphic designs. I think she's based out in Michigan, which is crazy.
Oh,
to be involved in a completely different scene is really cool.
Yeah, what? Okay.
So the album, I don't know. It just kind of, we wanted to do something that we haven't done before, which is, of course, an album, because it's our debut album.
Right.
So we wanted it to be strong enough, but also very easily digestible at the same time.
Which it 100% was.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And, we just kind of just wanted it to be a really good base for what you're going to be listening to in the future. It's by no means an end. It's something that's going to only continue to grow from there. So we record everything independently by ourselves. So we record it in my basement. And that was a really fun, learning curve. Anthony mixes, masters, and produces it all. And we would just get together, record it in my basement. It was really cool to be able to work with Tristan. That was the stuff on the album was the first stuff that he was able to, be a part of and record with us. And it was, what did you think of that experience?
Oh man, it was a blast. I mean, that was my first time really like sitting down and like recording something like at that level, because like I would work. My brother-in-law does music as well, and so he and I would like record covers and stuff together sometimes. But just to be able to, sit down and just create a full-length album front to back and be able to listen to it and be like, wow, I played on all of that. It was pretty special. I did want to touch on just the album a little bit too, because like thematically, it's a lot different than Crossing the Field, because I feel like Crossing the Field is more like, grief and how, you deal with those emotions and stuff. And I feel like thematically for the self-titled album, it's more about, healing and learning how to deal with those emotions and then put yourself back together and move on, and I feel like if you kind of, listen to the words of the songs as you're going through the tracks, you can really hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really listening through it all. I mean, I like albums you can listen to and you feel like you're just listening, not necessarily like you're listening to the same song, but that it just flows, right? Not that you kind of feel like you're kind of jumping around and stuff like that. It is very like seamless, It feels like however long it is, 30 minutes, probably longer than that song. That just feels like one massively long song that is kind of just traveling up and down like.
And that's how an album should be,
That's how it should be.
Like a book. You're reading it cover to cover.
Right. And it makes me, and I don't do enough album listening, to be frank. I don't do that enough. And it's inspired me like, I should just turn on an album and not just click shuffle.
That's my favorite way to listen to music.
To me, I truly feel like that's the only way to listen to it. It's a little different nowadays because, there's a lot of people who will do music, they'll release some singles, and it's kind of like a jumble of a bunch of music. I haven't, other than some of the local bands around here or people that are also doing the same genre of music, I haven't really seen an album that has that album flow that like, you need to start at track 1 and you need to finish it here. Like it seems like it's a bunch of just songs they wrote and smashed together. And
like a mixtape almost.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I just think that listening to an album from start to finish is how it's intended. It's especially from all the music I listen to, like especially being a big Tool fan, Queens fan, those albums are start to finish. And I usually listen to it about like 2 or 3 times start to finish. And then I'll pick out the songs that I like really, really like.
Well, I think you like learn to like a song more when you hear it next to maybe the ones that are more like the hits in said album, right? It's like I learned that as well. Like I'd be so like, I'd heard this one song from this one artist and never listened to the album. And listen to the album and be like, alone, I don't necessarily love these songs as much, but when I listen to it together, like seamlessly, it's like, okay, I actually like these songs a lot more now because I like it in the flow of the album, right?
Right.
Now I wanted to touch into another topic, a little bit off the trail, a little bit. Now, we first talked about having you guys on, and I was kind of looking over you guys' accounts, stuff like that. You guys had maybe like 2,000, maybe 1,000 followers, something like that. And then like I came back to revisit it because I'm obviously like you guys are scheduled, going to review your account. You guys have like 12,000 followers. I was like, whoa, something crazy happened. And then I started looking through and you guys have a ton of short form content. And even there's one where I believe you're eating insulation. So first off, I want to ask you about how that was, because that sounds incredibly painful.
It actually wasn't that bad.
Really? Okay. So first tell me about the idea for that and doing other content like that and other crazy things you've done. Right.
So the idea for the fiberglass one, we had our stupid 6-7 video blow up, right?
Yeah.
Which we got together and just did that for fun.
That's the one that started it.
And that started that snowball effect of other content. And then we were like, oh, we need to dive hard into this. And but a lot of the content stuff, it really comes from Anthony. Me and him will brainstorm together, and Tristan, and we'll all get together and try and like just have content days. And one day I was in the basement, and of course there's no roof on it. Well, there's a roof, but like no ceiling.
So it's just bare.
Exactly. And I'm gonna scoot this real quick. And so I was just like, dude, I need to figure out a way how to like eat this insulation, because so many people were commenting on it. They were like, breathing this shit in is worse than smoking 3 packs of Marlboros a day. You're gonna die. You're gonna die of cancer, son. And I'm like, okay. Well, sweet. So I'm like, oh, that's that rage bait. I can get into that. I can tap into that.
You test me, yeah.
So, I mean, just every video we post, it'd be installation. I was in Publix and I saw pink cotton candy and I was like, oh, that can work. So I had Anthony get up on a stool And then I just acted like I was eating the installation, but it was pink cotton candy.
Oh, that pisses me off, dude.
I'm sorry.
Because I really bought into it. I really was not locked in.
Dude, I would probably not be sitting here if that was real fiber. If I was eating real fiberglass.
Because at first I thought you were saying, oh yeah, I just straight up ate fiberglass. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, like that makes so much more sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw that video, and this is before like we had officially planned you guys, and I saw the video online at maybe like 2 a.m. and I was like, oh my God, this dude just ate. And it's like, whoa, why would he do that? Like, that's got to be painful. Now you guys have done a bunch of other crazy stuff. What other crazy stuff you guys done?
So
wasn't there a bathtub video? Hold on,
what I was gonna bring up.
go for it. This is your favorite one, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we filmed a video with Zach in the bathtub, and we played one of our songs in the bathroom while he was taking a bath, and unfortunately it flopped. It didn't
I
do
did
very
see it.
well,
I
but
did see
we
this
thought
one, yeah.
it was hilarious.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were dying while we were filming.
There's
it.
a lot of uncomfortable. I love that type of content where it's like kind of a little bit of like a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit like, ugh.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Yeah. It's always fun, like I've kind of viewed content as like, if you're not okay with embarrassing yourself, don't post a video.
No,
Like,
dude, exactly.
it's there's so much content out there, and you have to be able to stick out in some kind of way.
Right.
So doing those very bold videos that are like, oh, but at the same time it's like, oh, like the other kind of the opposite. Oh, you know what I mean?
Well, it's like, there's to me, it's like there's two ways of doing it. It's like, you can go online, you can post only professional-esque content, like corporate, right? And, it's going to be very professional. It's going to get to the point, but people aren't necessarily going to discover you because it's not going to stick out like you're saying.
Mhm.
But then there's the complete other side of that. And you're only doing rage bait. You're only doing kind of stupid stuff to where people aren't really even discovering anything about you. They're just seeing something stupid you did online, and then that's it.
Mhm.
Now there's the perfect in between where it's making who you guys are as people and your comedic self, your personality, stuff like that, marketable so people can discover that and then use that to find out about your music.
Mhm.
And that's what you guys are doing.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm big on social media stuff. But that's like y'all guys are doing it right. It's like because you guys are putting you guys yourselves out there. You're being a little weird. Man, I wish you had eaten the fiberglass. I really wish you had because
Dude,
I wanted to know how that ended up.
Oh, it would have been bad. I will say though, I think a little bit of it got on the cotton candy for sure.
Yeah. Oh, so there was a little burn.
I think there was a little bit of burn, but not much.
So man,
But
makes
I
you
really
wonder.
appreciate you saying that. That's very nice. I've never had anyone, people are always like, the content's great. It's really, really good. But like you dove into an aspect, which is like very nice. I appreciate that compliment.
Of course. There's social media is like, I think it sucks because I feel like I always talk about this with artists because I feel like that's what inspired me to make this whole show is it's like there's such a push nowadays to use social media and you don't want that to undermine who you guys are and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to just put yourself like a clown on the internet to just get views.
Mm-hmm.
Like that just feels so demoralizing.
Right.
But I think there's a way to use it to where you can still maintain your artist integrity and not just be making like brain rot
Right.
music. Like,
Right.
Yeah, and you don't want content to be forced either, right?
Right.
Because if you're not enjoying it, then nobody else is going to enjoy
Right.
it. But I mean, we just sit down and brainstorm, and if we think it's funny, we post it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if other people think it's funny too, then great. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
and you guys are doing, it's really funny. Like a lot of these are genuinely funny.
Thank you so much.
But going into more back to like kind of our serious topics, a lot of your music is very personal to you guys. I mean, you guys talked about your brother Chris, and like kind of writing your music and stuff like that. So tell us about the storytelling aspect of writing your songs and maybe what songs you would highlight that have a little bit more of a deeper meaning for you guys.
Yeah. So when it comes to me, when it comes to me writing lyrics, like I said before, like I'm not very good with my words. So when I'm writing a song, I always try to write the song how I'm feeling for the song to speak with me. And when I have achieved that within the instrumental side of things,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it makes it so much easier for me to add lyrics on top of it.
Right.
Because I can't just like sit down and be like, oh, blah, 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 write all these lyrics. I have to get that instrumental part done
Right.
and have it match what I was feeling during that time.
Mhm.
And then I'm able to put lyrics on top of it. And, usually it really depends. There's times where I'm writing songs that are just about random things, but genuinely all the songs that are like on the record that I've done the lyrics to, it's kind of just like, I know this is cliche to say, but it's literally like an open diary, because
Mhm.
I can't write down my words,
Yeah.
I have to have that music behind it in order to get it out. And songs like, What's Your Age in Heaven, or like Ray of Love, or Life in Reverse, or Tilt, those are songs to me that are truly go into a very deep, dark aspect within my brain that I do not know how to talk about. And I
Right.
have to put it on that music. And so that's kind of pretty much
Yeah.
that process.
And Tristan, do you get the opportunity to usually play a part in? Do they let you play a part in maybe writing lyrics or anything like that?
Yeah, I do. And I haven't really written a whole lot of lyrics for like anything that we have out currently.
No, you helped do
but-
the chorus with Face, remember? You helped a
No,
lot with Face.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I definitely have like input
Mhm.
on certain things and stuff for sure. And I have some lyrics written for some unreleased stuff that comes
Right.
out. But I mean, my approach to it is very similar to his. I don't sit down and like write a poem before I put music over it.
Right.
I always have the music first, and then I kind of figure out how it makes me feel, and then I'll go back through and just write whatever comes to my head. But I always try to, most of the stuff that I write, I try to do it where, maybe it starts from like a dark place that I was at some point, and then I'll kind of talk about, how that influenced, decisions I made or things that it made me think. And then I'll try to kind of segue towards the end into, the light side and how to get out of it, or something that helped me or something like that. I try not to just write, shallow music. I want it
Right.
to come from a deep place that might be able to help somebody else someday.
So why don't we? And y'all tell me this is too personal, because I want to obviously get you guys too personal out there. But I think, would you guys want to share where this song related to this bad part of my life, and this is how I told people about it through music?
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys want to go into the deep inspirations of certain songs you guys have? Like, is there ones you guys highlight? Would you guys want to share?
Yeah, I'm completely fine with it. I'm very, it's out there. So like I want people to hear the meaning. It might be a little hard for me to talk about, but
Of course.
as in crying, but I
Right,
would definitely be down to, of course, talk about it. So for me, most of my songwriting really came after my brother's death. I would write a lot on my own before then, but it really didn't come until after he died. It was like really the only way that I was able to process it. And I've always kind of went off of, what I was feeling during that time.
Mhm.
So the main feelings that I was dealing with is confusion, very big depression. It was a very unexpected death. So there was really no answer as to why he had to go.
Mhm.
And so a lot of those lyrics with What's Your Age in Heaven specifically, well, we'll start with Ray of Love. Ray of Love was a song I wrote. I personally don't even remember writing it. I don't remember anything from that time. It was just something
Fair.
I wrote. And but it was a song that really talked about the confusion aspect, but then also the heaven and Christian aspect, because I'm a Christian. And
Mhm.
it's really hard to be mad at a God you love so much, and everything happens for a reason. So Ray of Love is kind of like going into those aspects of like my anger, my confusion, but then at the end of the song, it truly kind of opens up as in like, you know what, I'm happy you're home,
Mhm.
and if that's where you needed to be, then that's where you needed to be. And then Life in Reverse is another deep one for me. That was a song I wrote because when he passed away, I was like, about to be done with college and go and get my bachelor's degree and, go into, I was dating a girl at the time I really, really liked. And like, I was ready to like, start making money, live my life. And
Right.
it got completely pulled away from me when he passed away. And then just felt like I got pulled backwards. And song still stands to this day. That's still means a lot to me.
Yeah,
And then,
absolutely.
So, and then What's Your Age in Heaven, other than an unreleased one, What's Your Age in Heaven was probably the most recent one that I wrote about Chris. And I wrote that on his birthday last year. And it's basically just was me trying to deal with the grief that I was experiencing for his birthday. Because, he died like a week after his birthday or 2 weeks after his birthday. And I wrote that song because I was like officially older than him, from what he was here on earth, and that kind of like clicked the question to me, like, do you age in heaven?
Yeah.
Are you like, does your hair turn gray? Do you celebrate a number that won't change? Because no one has an age in heaven.
Is there time? I mean, yeah, it's very philosophical. Yeah.
And so it was just kind of one of those songs that I wrote about that and then the processes of it, because unfortunately, when you lose someone, there's a lot of things that you don't really think about until they come. And one of those is like, I'm about to have to get married without, my best friend there, and have a kid and tell him that, there's someone who's not there who's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of things that a lot of people don't talk about, and trying to put that into music to where people can relate to it is the only way that I've been able to come to terms with it. So,
well, I think like that's, to me, I always tell people, it's like for myself, it's like, obviously who the artist is, their name, stuff like that. It's important. To me, it's not important. To me, it's like you relate to art not because this person has the same name to you, right? Like if an artist's name is Tyler, I'm not going to be like, oh, I like the artist because his name is Tyler. I might like it because there are certain aspects of how they tell stories and emotions and feelings through their art, and I resonate with that, right? And so I'm sure there's probably, and I'm sure you maybe have had to have, I want to say uncomfortable experiences, but in a good way, of having people who have been through similar situations like you have with your brother, and them resonating with that and really taking a really deep meaning to your music. And so if you go out there and you say, I'm only going to write music that I feel comfortable about, right? That it's just, this is just what makes me comfortable. This doesn't what make me feel sad, just makes me feel mid. I just feel like I'm singing something that I like to sing, but it's not anything deep and personal. Then nobody's going to resonate with it because you're not really expressing yourself truly. But if you go out there and you're really putting yourself out there, being vulnerable and really playing music that you want to be uncomfortable with in front of a ton of people, then that's like way more meaningful.
Exactly. Music has been the only thing that has helped me through this. And of course, my relationship with God and my family. But music, without it, I don't know where I'd be right now. And I'm creating, of course, for myself, but also I don't want to just make another song. I want to make a song for someone that they can listen to and pull that from it, that they're, you're not alone. Like I want to make that music that helped me get through what I needed to get through and other people get through. And, on top of that, just carrying my brothers with him, it's with me. It's like, I'm doing this music stuff. It's not only doing it for myself, but I'm doing it for two people, like I bring his guitar on stage at certain shows, I play his guitars on stage. And, if there's just, when someone passes away, I know it can be hard, but you can truly still carry them with you on this earth while you're here. And I don't want to be just sad all the time about it because, we were young, I was 20, he was 22. Like instead of mourning and grieving all the time, which is something I do, I want to be able to carry that flame that he left, and that's what CRC Fest is for, those are his initials, and that's what it's, what it's for. he always wanted to help people. And that's why it's always a fundraiser kind of concert when it happens. So definitely having that is whoops.
Well, that's an interesting thing to think about. Is like you say, moving on. It's kind of like that doesn't mean you leave something behind.
Exactly.
I mean, you just bring something with you.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the thought of that. That's a really good thought. Really. Now let's talk about CRC Fest because there was a lot with this. It seemed like this was a little bit in correlation with the debut of your album, if I'm correct. And a lot of the artwork for the actual CRC Fest was around. Like this was something where, and it wasn't just obviously you guys, there was a ton of other bands that you guys have collabed with, even on that album that came out to perform. So why don't you tell us about CRC Fest, how that went, what that meant to you guys, maybe also collaborating with the other bands, like stuff like that.
Oh man, it was it was a lot of fun. We've only been involved in this Atlanta, Athens music scene for maybe a year and a half to a little bit longer than that, don't you think?
I think it's about 2 years now.
About 2 years now?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to, we had this idea for like a album, we wanted to release an album, but then I was like, how can we take this album, do like a big release show, just benefiting and supporting everything about the scene and everything about, just the goodness of what a community can do when you just come together and be able to create together, support each other together, and just come together. And that was like the whole drive behind it. And I came up with the CRC Fest idea because I wanted it to be in my brother's name.
Right.
As another way to carry on that flame, and it was magical. I probably cried about like 20 times that day. And just seeing how everyone came together, and like Phantom Dan, during his set, he was like, love you, Chris. And that was like, it meant a lot to me because, just was not expecting that, like you just don't expect that, and so shout out Phantom Dan. Which is this one?
Yeah.
Shout out Phantom Dan. Love you, bro. And he said that, and I was just felt so warm. And then night went on. We were raising money for a local nonprofit that I work at called the Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. And this year is going to be for a different fundraiser. It's probably going to go towards OCD research because my older brother struggled with OCD and he wanted to be able to make a.
So you guys are doing the fest again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's going to be an annual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's going to be every single year. And so every single year it's going to benefit a different fundraiser.
Right.
And would like to do a different band each time, but we'll see. But yeah, that festival, holy smokes, it meant so much to me in the way that the people came together to help and just collaborated on this amazing event was super big. And I really, really appreciate everyone who was involved in that and helped and played and just celebrated a life, celebrated an album, supported a nonprofit, and supported each other. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was one of those things where like kind of echoing what he said, but like going into it, it was very stressful, because we'd never done anything like that before. And it was such a big undertaking trying to have like 10 bands in one spot, and just figuring out all the logistics of everything.
And then coordinating the schedules of 10 bands.
Right. And then, we're like, oh my goodness, like that's so much music equipment. Like how are we going to even,
and
then thinking about, like the sponsors and all that other
the
stuff.
The location, the venue.
Right. And then on top of everything else, Atlanta Utility Works, that was like their first live music event that they had ever had. And
wow.
No.
So no?
No.
It wasn't?
No.
I thought that's what the lady said.
No, Utility Works. They're a venue. That was like I'm pretty sure that was like their first festival, like all day festival they've done.
Okay. So biggest.
Like 10 bands.
Event,
that was like the first time that
gotcha.
I'm pretty sure that was like the first time that it happened there.
Right.
But yeah, just to see, all 10 bands come together, and I mean it all flowed, and the turnout of people and just how excited everybody was to be there and everything. I mean, even my wife, she was there. She had a booth set up. She was doing face paint and everything, and our families came out, and it was a really, really special time, and I hope everybody was able to feel the love as much as we were. It was a lot of fun. So
I wish I was there. I'm coming back next year.
Come to the next one. Yeah, come to the next one.
Yeah.
October 3rd.
Yep.
Wait. When was it last? Well, it was 2025 October.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or 20. Yeah. It was.
That was so long ago. God, why did I think it was like the other day?
Yeah. It was October 4th. And then this year it's going to be October 3rd. So
I'm excited.
Yep.
I'll be
exclusive drop on the podcast. We haven't told anybody about it yet. So October 3rd, CRC Fest.
I sure hope the podcast makes it to next October. I sure hope we make it. No, I'm kidding. Well, sidebar. We're kind of at that 40-minute mark, I believe, right? What are we at? Oh, shoot. Almost.
We yap. I yap.
Well, I actually thought we were under time, and I wanted to throw in, is there anything that we did not talk about that you would really like to talk about? Because I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff there. I'm shocked that we were over time that much. We're actually over by 6 minutes, I guess, right?
Just having so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys a lot for coming in. We really appreciate it. I think it was another great recording. Truly one of the more impactful conversations. I really think it is impactful. And I think a lot of people maybe resonated. I hope that if there's a comment saying this is a story I wanted to hear, hope there is. Other than that, is there anything you guys would like to say to your fans? Any shout outs you like to give? You can look at that camera.
Let me think real quick.
No, go ahead. Think
You got anything to say?
to the people of the world?
I'll have to think about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is there's a lot to say.
There's a lot of people.
I gotta sum it up.
Love you, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. You want to shout out your guys' school?
Eh.
No, okay, cut that then. Cut that.
I just want to say thank you so much to the Creators Table for having us. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
Such beautiful people, amazing place. What you guys are doing is awesome, supporting a scene that needs it, and you guys are doing it. So much thanks. Thank you to each and every single one of you guys for listening and streaming our music and checking it out. It means so much to us. And we got new music on the way, tons of shows planned. I don't know when this is coming out, but we got some cool stuff planned, so definitely stay tuned.
Yeah. Think of anything, Tristan? Anything?
I'm good.
I'm good. All right. Well, thank you guys again so much for listening. If you guys are looking for other places to listen, there's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. If you're looking to find their music, same thing. Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, all this. If you're looking for any links, they're going to be in the description in the wherever you're listening. Other than that, have a great day, guys, and goodbye.
See you guys.